Howdy, howdy, guys. Welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. As you might be able to tell behind me, church has just gotten out. We're supposed to get more rain today. We might later. The clouds are questionable. I hope we get rain later, but like much later, because we have some stuff we need to do outside. So I prefer not to do it in the rain. So maybe like tonight it could rain. That'd be great. Can I put in my request now? So we'll see. We did get a little bit of rain over the last few days, which is good. We needed it. We still need more. It greened up everything quite a bit pretty quickly, but even so, we definitely need some more rain. And it's all my plants are confused. So my hostas started blooming again. My gardenia bush is blooming again, and my magnolia tree, that's like, we call it the fake magnolia tree because it blooms all weird, number one. Number two, it doesn't have a smell. And to me, the entire point of having a magnolia tree is I love the smell of magnolia. Like, it's one of my favorite scents and flowers of like forever. The first place that I lived on my own was an apartment complex, and it was on Magnolia Avenue, and we had, I don't even know how many magnolia trees. It lined the entire complex, and then we had magnolia trees all along the inside of the complex. And this was back in California. And I just know that like in the springtime, because I lived there from the time I was 21 until Mike and I bought our first house when I was like 27, 26, 27, somewhere in there. I'd have to go back and look at the date. But anyway, lived there for several years, and I loved every spring when you came home and got out of your car, you could smell the magnolias because it was all surrounding the complex, and it was so beautiful, and it always smelled so good outside. So my magnolia tree is confused, but it doesn't smell, so I guess it doesn't matter. I don't really know where I was going with that, but there I went with it. So anyway, didn't get as much done yesterday as we planned, for sure. Best laid plans, didn't happen. We all got kind of sidetracked on some other tasks that were not, they were things that needed done, but they were not like filmable things. And then we were working on Mike's car, or I should say Mike and Frank were working on Mike's car. It needed the brakes done. And they were going to work on the windshield wiper is not wiping on one side. So he's been trying not to, obviously if it's raining, he doesn't take that car if this is an option, if I'm home, which usually it's like if he's got a meeting that night, I'm home or something like that. So, and we're not into rainy season yet, obviously, so it's not been a big deal, but it will become a big deal here very quickly when I have to pick Frankie up from practice or a late night game or something, and if he's got a meeting, although he doesn't usually have those meetings on those nights, but he does sometimes on her practice nights. So just have to make sure we kind of get everything squared away with that vehicle, just so it's all tip-top and whatnot. I am feeling better. I'm still blowing my nose quite a bit. It's just taken a while, I guess, to just get out of my system and readjust. And we were also really dry here when I got here because we haven't had much rain, and the humidity felt low. I don't know what it actually was, but I can always tell like how it feels with like my skin and my sinuses and stuff. And so I was like, it's dry when I got back home. So I hopefully with a little more rain in the atmosphere, that'll help dissipate some of that. But definitely have some things we got to work on today. Got some fun gadgets, I guess you could say, that we're trying out. And one of them two of them I think we're gonna play with today, but one we're gonna really work on filming today. So kind of excited about it because it's one of those things that I'll tell you what it is. I don't care. It's like a remote controlled, this is going to sound crazy because I thought it was crazy when I first saw it. It's a remote controlled lawnmower. So it's little. It's not meant like to do the back 40, right? However, the front space that I kind of maintain where my flower bed is and like kind of like the side area where I end up having to do a lot of weed whacking, because when he does the front yard, as it were, several acres, when he does that front yard, you know, the area like he can do like the area around the trees, but some of the like up against the edging and stuff is like, you have to get in there with a weed whacker. You know, the riding mowers won't do it. I think this might solve that problem for me, because like even the other day my kid just mowed and I had to go and weed whack around the whole house because I couldn't, all the edges were still, you know, tall, and I hadn't done it since right before I left, and so everything was shot up, you know, between the AC units outside and around the front of my garden bed and that kind of stuff. So to kind of help keep those, and the driveway edge, to kind of help keep that down in that front area and go around the trees better and some of that, I think it's going to be nice. And it's one of those things where you can like program it and turn it on and send it, and then like tell it what you want it to do, and then you just go inside and do the laundry or cook dinner, and like you can just let it do its thing, and I can see it through the window, so I can like watch it. I don't know, this could be kind of cool. It may be one of those things where I, you know, don't end up using it a ton, but I don't know, we'll see. It might be great during this season to at least keep kind of the area that I can see in front of the house a little bit better trimmed when Mike, you know, because sometimes it's hard when you can't mow the yard when it's been raining and the yard is wet, and you have to time it sometimes just right, and if he's, you know, working, he can't be out on the lawnmower, and it's one of those things that there's certain jobs that I do that he never does, and there's certain jobs that he does that I never do, in very, very rare circumstances. Like I'll do the weed whacking and stuff, but I won't do the lawn mowing. That's one of those things that he enjoys, and it's also falls in his category. I don't think he's ever taken out the trash. That's always been more my job. I think he did in our first house. Like he would take the can down to the street. I think he did that more often than not, but I always took all the trash out and put it in the bin. So all he had to do was take the bin. Like he doesn't take the trashes out of the house. I always empty all the trashes in the house. And now Frankie, that's one of her jobs, is to take the trash can down and bring it up, and take the trash out. But even then I end up taking the trash out sometimes, because like if I've cleaned and it's full, then I'll take it out if, you know, if she's not home. But that's one of the things that I do that he doesn't do. You know what I mean? So we each have our things, but I'm like, I try not to take on too many extra things, because then what happens is I get overwhelmed because there's too many things that are now on my list, and then his list becomes like really short, which is fine sometimes. Like if one of us is sick or one of us is, you know, something, then we pick up the slack, you know, or if he's going to be out of town or whatever. But like the boys will be out of town, you know, fishing here in a few weeks, which will be nice. Frankie and I are looking forward to a girls' weekend. And then my birthday weekend's coming up soon, and Frankie's actually got a church trip that weekend because it's a long weekend. And she was like, do you care if I go? Like, do you want me home for your birthday? Like, I'll do whatever you want. And I was like, honestly, honey, like, go have fun. Like, the only thing we're gonna do is probably get together, you know, like the 6 of us, and like have a night either out or at one of our houses and just hang out. So you'd be missing out on that, hanging out with your friends, but you're gonna be hanging out with your friends, you know, in Florida. So whatever. So I think they're gonna do that, because the weather should still be nice, and I think they're gonna do that. So she's kind of excited to go do that. It'll be their first youth group trip with their new youth advisor. So hopefully that goes smoothly for everybody. I think it will. But yeah, I'm just kind of plugging away this week. I sort of honestly didn't get a whole lot done outside of the house and some basic things. I didn't obviously do much at all with YouTube other than some behind the scenes stuff that I took care of. Stupid stuff like moving files and following up on some sponsorship contracts and things like that. and then I, did some maintenance stuff. I did get, which is still sitting in the back of the truck. Frankie was supposed to take it out, but she did get busy with the brakes yesterday. I've got a pallet of new sand for the chicken coop. I feel like with the sand method, you can do twice a year, provided you keep up on it daily. And we're coming up, we're right at that like 6 month mark or so. And then I was gone for a week, and I don't think Frankie really cleaned the coop out the way that I do on the daily. So when I got back, it was a little not happy. So kind of sped up I need to do it soon. So now I kind of have to wait, because it did get rained on our way home, because I did have my pain shots, my steroid and nerve blocker last week, which I guess I haven't talked to you guys since then. So there you have it. It went smoothly. I will say that, we're only, a few days out. Some people say it only lasts a few days. Some people say it lasts a few weeks. Some people say it lasts months. I'm hoping for the months, because it's definitely not something I would want to do every few weeks, or even just every like 2 or 3 months. It would definitely be something that I would hope would last. Even if it was every 4 months, I could live with that. If it brought the pain level down to what it is now for that period of time, I could do that. But it's a very uncomfortable procedure, from start to finish. So it's not something I would want to do super regularly. Plus, you have to have somebody drive you and stay with you and then drive you back. And it's, 2 hours away. So it's a little bit of a commitment of their day, to be honest. And Beth and I had a great time. Beth took me, we went to Target, we grabbed a bite to eat afterwards. And I get to repay the favor this week, because she has to go in for a procedure on Friday. So I'll be her designated driver while she's loopy. Because that's what we do. I told her, I was like, this is officially a sign that we're old. Like, old friends do this for each other. Like, oh, I have a back procedure. Oh, I'm having a colonoscopy. Like, we're just taking turns. So that's how you know when you're old. But thank goodness for good friends that will take good care of you. But I was definitely loopy afterwards, and all they gave me was a Xanax. I'm such a lightweight. They gave me a Xanax. I felt it took a while for it to kick in, but then once it kicked in, I was loopy McLooperson. It didn't really kick in for me until I was in the recovery room after they did it. So we're talking probably about, I don't know, I wasn't looking at the clock, but if I had to guess, I would say about 40 minutes later, which tracks, because for me, like when I get Novocaine, they have to wait a really long time for it to kick in, and they usually end up having to give me another dose, and usually my whole head is numb by the time like I walk out of there, and then it's numb for like that whole day. So I usually try to do my dentist stuff at the end of the day because of that. If I ever have to have work done, I'm like, no. But I think the same thing was true with the Xanax. Like, I think it just took a long time to hit me, but then when it did, because Beth was talking to me in the car, and I could feel myself kind of nodding off as she's talking to me, but I must have not been making sense responding to her, because finally I remember her saying, why don't you just lean your chair back and take a little nap? And I was like, you keep talking, it's fine, I can hear you talk. And she was like, just go sleep, hon. She did snap a picture of me, but she was nice enough not to post it on the interwebs. Because apparently, you know how when you had that real good like passed out sleep and you're just like, I was, catching the flies. But she's like, I only sent it to Mike. But anyway, so it's pretty funny. But yeah, so just kind of, I feel like I've been playing catch up just from, getting back from California, stuff on the house, stuff with animals. I'm definitely going to gut the coop this week. Once I get that sand out of there, I may just back the truck up and load it off the back of the truck when I'm cleaning. We'll see. Depends on if I can get her to get it out of the back of the truck or not. But we'll see. Just try to crank out some videos this week. That's my main goal. Try to get some stuff done. I'm gonna have a bunch of footage of some different things that we talked about that we need to work on today and tomorrow, since tomorrow is, as you're seeing this, Labor Day. Happy Labor Day. Mike will be off of work, so we have some more building to do in the shop, finishing out one of the walls and the rafter, and there was something else he mentioned too, but I can't quite recall what it was. But anyway, we'll be working on all that So, oh, that's a nice little horse trailer. I get excited when I see horse trailers. See it? There it is. Anyway, so yeah, so that's it. So that's what's happening. So definitely got behind this week, but I was also not feeling real well this week. I was also nervous about getting my shot. My shot went well, so far so good. My pain on the one side is, I would say, completely eliminated. The pain on the other side is much lessened. So I think I call that a win. I call that a win. And my mobility, because I'm not in pain, is so much better. So I call that a win. I call that a win. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm hopeful and optimistic that because things take so long to like take effect with me, and then they seem to like hang in there for a really long time. Like I felt drunk off that Xanax the next day. So maybe that's a good sign. Maybe that means my body will hold on to the nerve blocker and the steroids a little longer. Make it a little extra special for me. Maybe so. But anyway, guys, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday. I hope you're, spending it with your loved ones, or maybe just taking a nice, needed break from the hectic craziness of our normal, busy lives. So, stay blessed, guys. And as always, remember, safety's off.